The crisis of 20s is a stage that most of us feel, but not all of us talk about. That's when you don't know what to do with your life, you have 20 ways to go and you don't know which one to choose. Today you want all of them, tomorrow none of them. Being alone with these thoughts, especially living alone, can be a torture. However, I have spent almost half a year now living alone, and I have learned 8 lessons how we can actually benefit from this stage. So in this video I want to share my experience, and I hope it will be helpful for you if you are whether living alone or just trying to build this relationship, which is the most important relationship in your life, connection with yourself. So these are 8 lessons or even 8 steps of how you can transform your perception of the world and of yourself with small daily changes. Step 1 is shutting down the noise. Answer this question for yourself. How much time do you spend in the quiet? Or at least relatively in the quiet, without a dozen stimulators that are easily accessible through your phone? The problem is, the silence and the quiet are usually what people are most terrified of. So when you have a lot of potentially free time, you start actively avoiding it. You are quite literally filling your space with anything that comes your way. Mindless scrolling, binge watching series and movies and YouTube, and just consuming a lot of random content. By doing this, you are taking away a lot of potentially free time from yourself. When you'll be looking back to this time a year from now, you probably will not remember most of the content you've seen, but you will know that you could have spent this time more intentionally doing something meaningful that could have a good impact on your life. So the first and the most important lesson and practice you'll have to learn is shutting down the noise, being comfortable with yourself with no distractions and background activities, just sitting in the quiet. What you can do from now on is make time daily for putting away your phone, your laptop, any screens, any sounds. You can meditate, you can sit in silence for just 10 minutes a day, or you can simply stand on your balcony and observe. Main focus here is to make space for yourself to open up for the next steps of our transformative process. Once you've come through with the first step and you're left in the quiet, you'll have to face yourself. All your thoughts, emotions, and insecurities will start coming through. That's a precise reason why we are all so likely to get caught up in the noise. However, growth and awareness are impossible without facing these uncomfortable thoughts. That's the point. You'll have to know and understand how you actually feel about yourself and about various sides of your life to know how to work with them. Before getting to your dream life, you'll have to reflect on your current one. So on this stage, you need to work through the inconveniences. Notice, embrace, let go of the negatives without self-shaming for any of them. And this way you'll make space for understanding where you want to get and how you wish to be spending your time. The most effective technique to work through this is journaling. So what you can do here is take a notebook, a physical one or a digital one if it works better for you, and write down how you feel. Be honest and try not to react too deeply. It's almost like you're observing what you think from the side, so that you embrace what you feel, but you also have a safe distance not to blame yourself for any of your emotions. This way it will be easier for you to let go of everything that's holding you back and move forward. Once you've let go of, or rather started the process of letting go of the negatives, it's time to start exploring what makes you happy, what you truly value, what you certainly want or don't want in your life. Use this time as an opportunity to build routines. It can be brewing your morning coffee in a special way, journaling your thoughts, finding new favorite influences amongst people who have achieved what you'd like to achieve one day. Create this space of safe growth where you can be very honest with yourself and you can decide, okay, that's how I was approaching this process in my life, but I no longer enjoy it, so it's time to change. For example, you can change your eating habits, or you can work on your evening routine and improve your sleep quality. You can learn, and that's important, not to beat yourself up for not achieving something and instead being more self-compassionate. It doesn't necessarily mean that you'll have to give up, but you'll save yourself from suffering and you'll have this energy to approach your actual goals in a wiser and a more effective way. You can also work on your confidence by keeping small promises to yourself. If you say to yourself that you'll start reading this book that you've been delaying for a year, and you'll have this daily ritual of reading it for 30 minutes, or even 5 minutes, and you will keep this promise, it will contribute to your self-trust, and next time it will be easier for you to approach bigger goals. We can expand on this topic for a day, but you understand the idea now. Quality time and quality relationship with yourself. Living alone is the best opportunity to do so, as you will not try to replicate someone's lifestyle. You have a blank space and a chance to fill it with whatever you truly feel like doing. It might seem that living alone gives you so much free time. You can decide for yourself when you sleep, when you eat, when you go out and stay in. It's true in a way, but at the same time, it's the biggest test to your time management and self-discipline skills. If you are not a very disciplined person, as most of us in our 20s, there's a high risk of not eating healthy, going to bed at an unreasonable hour, doom scrolling and binge watching. The main reason for this is that you think you have all the time in the world, so you can do it later. You can do everything later. You'll go to the gym next month, you'll start reading this book next week, you'll stop watching Netflix tomorrow, etc, etc. And then another week has gone by and all you've done was Netflix, TikTok and fast food. It's okay to go through stages like this for some time. We all need rest and recovery. I personally spent most of December 2024 watching movies and shows, and I don't regret a single day of it. But I've always realized it wasn't a sustainable option in the long term and that I needed to work it out. So it is a test. Be wise and really prepared to decide what you're doing with your time all day, every day. When you're alone, you have a good chance to rediscover your old hobbies or explore new interests without external influences. When you're surrounded by other people, especially at home, you'll very likely just take on what someone else does. This is about space organization. For example, when you see sports equipment everywhere at home, you'll have a higher chance of exercising more. If someone's always singing by your side, you might as well start singing along. But it goes for unhealthy habits just as much. If someone's watching TikToks for 8 hours a day by your side, you can start doing the same without even noticing it. Because for you, it's evidently normal if someone's already doing it. And so when you're alone, it's again the blessing of the quiet, when you are the only one influencing your decisions. You don't get to see someone else's life 24/7, so you can create one for yourself. Your ability to filter opportunities is better in these conditions. So you obviously see what someone else does, at the very least online, but there's more distance between you and them. It will just be easier for you to say, you know what, I actually don't enjoy it as much as I thought I did. Or on the contrary, you can be impressed by someone's achievements in a very unexpected field, and you'll catch yourself thinking that you never actually thought of it to the extent of wanting to try it yourself. So you can explore and discover what you love or hate more independently, free from everyone else. Living alone is a perfect chance to figure out what routines and habits work for you. They will become a foundation for your stable and fulfilling future routines. It's important because we live in a very, very flexible world. It's changing fast and it's actually progressing way faster than we can process it. To stay grounded, we need something to rely on, something that doesn't change that much. Essentially, I'm talking about the sleep schedule, morning and evening routines, what you eat and if you exercise, and if you do exercise, what kind of sports you prefer. Me personally, as someone who moved between cities and countries quite a few times, I can tell that having a small ritual like the same skincare routine every night or doing the same yoga exercises can really keep you sane during the time of the biggest changes. Changes happen, it's life, it's very normal, it's not gonna be safe and stable all the time, but having the smallest something stable is a huge support to your mental mental state. And it's probably my favorite point because I've been on this journey of finding small routines and rituals that work for me for years now, and I still haven't found one that works in any circumstances. So I'm always exploring and trying new approaches. I've tried tons of them by now, and I'm not stopping because I always need some tiny little thing to hold on to, even if it will change in a month. Without anyone to lean on to, you become resourceful and resilient. Every challenge you face adds to your confidence. Every time when it seems like you cannot do it, you know it's not true, because it's not necessarily a choice. So yes, you can. It's not about not needing people in your life. Being independent never means that you don't need anyone. People need people. We need love, support, someone to talk to, someone to be close with. However, we also need to be in a deep, trusting relationship with ourselves. So whenever you're going through something difficult alone, it can be another chance to add to your confidence, to add that extra belief in yourself. And in the long term, it will contribute to your peace, which is really, really important. Like I said before, people need people. I am very convinced of that. And living alone actually makes you value people in your life even more. Missing them is a reminder of their importance, and it deepens your relationships. If you don't have someone to miss right now, it's also perfectly normal. You haven't yet met all the people you will love and who will love you. And being alone will also help you set boundaries in terms of it will be easier for you to come home after meeting someone and understand whether you like how they treat you or not. Is it the relationship that you want to get involved in or not? And if you're in a position when you do have someone to miss, some distance will really help you add value to this relationship in terms of what do you want to talk about most when you get in touch with them? What do you value most? There also might be more support coming from the distance, because you'll actually have to find words to keep the strong connection between each other. To be fair, it often really shows true colors of relationships when there's some distance involved. You can really see who's there for you, who supports you most, who goes missing for weeks or so. And you also have more responsibility for yourself, because you need to put in more effort from the distance to be a good supportive friend. You need to always remember to text, to call, and to ask valuable questions to keep this connection alive. Living alone in your 20s is a time to transform your life in a way that works best for you. It's about becoming comfortable with the quiet, facing your thoughts, and discovering who you really are without external noise and influence. Use this time to build the life you want, because solitude will not last forever. And when it's over, you'll be stronger, more self-aware, and ready to take on whatever comes next. So if you're living alone right now, know that it might very well be one of the most important chapters in your life, so use this time wisely. I hope you've taken value from this video. If so, I'm sharing more content like this on my channel, so do subscribe if you're interested, and I'll be happy to see you in a week.